consecutive days in the book of Psalms, and we're going to be praying these prayers.
One year.
Used to do 6:33 in the morning, and that was the
AM?
Yeah, 6:33 in the morning. When we decided to keep going and not stop, we moved to 7 a.m. and it just kind of was organic, kind of just grew. We built a family. You see, I put on that Elite 500 Club. All right. Great afternoon. It's a beautiful day, and we are here with the Garners. All right. Oh, man, we are so grateful and thankful that you would take this opportunity, take this time, and invest your time in your busy schedule, especially for you, Angel, your busy schedule, to just spend a few minutes with us. Now, here's the deal. In the mornings, we are morning glory, but you're special, and now we're noonday glory. So this is noonday glory that we're spending with the Garners, and just happy to be able to share with them. They're good people. They've been good to me and kind to me throughout these 6 years, and for that we are grateful. So what I'm going to do, family, I'm going to allow them to just say who they are, and then from that we'll talk a little bit. And if that's okay with everybody, I'll start with Attorney Angel. If you just want to say hi to people and whatever, tell them where you are. Also tell them where you guys are, because always calling your name, but it's not like you're right around the corner. Go right ahead.
Oh, good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Angel Murphy Garner. Most of you probably know me as Angel Murphy, but I'm married now to my husband who's on with me. So we live in Maryland, so right outside of DC, a city called Upper Marlboro. And today I think is just very special for me personally, because I'm with someone who has been a spiritual covering for my life, probably my entire life.
Yeah, yeah.
And I just think that, Pastor Sanders has poured into not only his congregation, but into generations of those of us who were born and raised in Hollandale. So I'm just grateful to be here.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for that. Mr. Garner?
Yeah, hey everybody. My name's Philip Garner, and I'm married to Angel. And I met Pastor Sanders when we first visited your church. I would say about 3 years ago, 4 years ago. It was during a December when we were home for Christmas holidays, visiting Angel's family in Hollywood. So we woke up, went to church, and at the end of it, I just told Angel's mother, Renee Hobbs Johnson, and Corey Johnson. I said, "Wow." And she was like, guess what? He's on every single morning. It's called Morning Glory. I said, what? Every morning? She was like, yes, 7 a.m. I said, okay. And then from then on, every single morning, Angel and I were up, and your voice is pumping. We got like 10 speakers throughout the house, like little uh, Apple HomePods.
Yeah.
Your voice is just echoing throughout the house. My children know your voice.
Wow,
It's just a
wow,
blessing.
wow. Now that is awesome, awesome. You guys, even on vacation one time, you were on vacation, and I was like, "You guys supposed to be on vacation," and you were morning glory even on vacation, man, and that's just awesome. And I thankful that made my day, bro. I'm going to say that made my day. I had no idea of that, but that is just definitely uplifting to hear, just to hear testimonies such as that. So I wanted to talk to you for just a few minutes and get some insight from you, and maybe even some more testimony, as you said earlier. So over the last 6 years, as you already know, this is our 6 year anniversary, and over this time, we've been talking to good people about um, things that may have been said on Morning Glory, or some illustration that may display, because we try to do everything with our limited resources, but also with our limited, studio till I get my real studio. But with that, we work with whatever God gives us in our hand. So my question to you is, over this time, this 6 year span, was there anything that just comes to the top for you, something that may have impacted you, something that you may say now that you kind of picked up from being such regular consistent listeners on Morning Glory? That's the question I'm asking either one of you, but we'll start with ladies first, and we'll ask Attorney Angel or Mr. Garner. It doesn't matter. Either one of you can respond.
Okay, I'll start. I would say we just came out of Holy Week recently, and I remember you were talking about Jesus's last will and testament, and I don't think I've ever like heard it told in that way. It was very
Uh,
memorable for me because I also practice estate planning. So I was thinking about like, wow, Jesus had a last will and testament. And so
yes, right. Yeah,
that kind of stuck with me, and I just remember we talked about forgiveness, salvation, and I believe it was atonement.
yeah,
And
that's
those
right.
that kind of really settled with me. I know you also normally like kind of have a theme with the Morning Glory teachings, and I think that helps me memorize things or keep the scripture front of mind. So yeah.
Yeah, I I didn't think about it, didn't make the connect, but or maybe I did call your name to make that connect, because I was talking about his last will, his testament. What is his last word? In his last words, he's given his testament of what, what I want you to do. That I want you to forgive. I want, so these things, when you think about it in a legal mind, that's exactly what he's doing. People come and they plan and they say, "This is what I would like to do. This is what who I would like to have what." Who I want, this is where I want this to go. And they're giving you their last will and testament. And that's exactly what Jesus was doing, long before, we think about it with a will. But that's great. I appreciate that. And that is so good. Mr. Garner, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, for me, there's just so much wisdom every single day. There's really not one thing. It's just a culmination of the daily just regimen of receiving wisdom every single day, and it resides in my heart. But the one thing important that you do every single morning is pray. And during that prayer, um Father and God, we come to you this day, guard our minds and our hearts, being at the right place at the right time, doing the right thing for the
Yeah,
right reason so we get the right result. That has stuck with me
yeah,
for the
yeah,
for all the years that I've been listening, and I repeat that to other people. as I, plant seeds in them or something. People may be down in their season or something
Yeah,
like that,
yeah, yeah,
but it's about doing
yeah.
just that, just continuing on with our assignment, with what he has assigned us to be
Right.
and to do. And honestly, just that portion kind of not rules my day, but guides my day to
Yeah,
saying
yeah,
that I am doing that right now.
yeah,
And whatever
yeah,
I'm going
yeah.
through right now, I am in the right place at the right time, and it will come to me,
No,
whatever
I
it is.
totally agree. I knew you were going to say that though. And the reason because one time we were sharing, I don't know if we were on the phone or whatever, but uh, you were sharing with me. You sent me a nice like gift pack or some, and you were sharing with me about that part of the prayer. And when I always say, "Lord, position me." Right place, right time, doing the right thing for the right reason, and we get the right results. And I always pray that because, when I'm starting out my day, that's what I want, Lord, because I have my idea of where I want to be. I have my idea of where I'm going. I have my idea, okay, I want to do this today, this today, this today. But I try to pray, Lord, position me where you want me. Make sure I'm in the right place at that right time because there's not just what blessings you missed, it's also what blessings that miss you that you
Mm.
didn't even know about. And that's why I say, put me in that right place, but I want to be there at the right time. See, because when it comes, I don't want to be out of position. And that's why I always pray that. But you shared that with me a while back. And when I asked you that question, I knew you were going to say, right place, right time. Because you're the only one that ever shared that with me in terms of they caught that in the prayer. Now, people hear it all the time, but you happen to hear it differently. And a lot of times people can hear things, but they haven't heard it with their inner ear to where now it gets in them, it gets down inside you. And for that, that's something we share in common. Maybe somebody else will come up to me and say, man, but so far in these I've been saying that for about 6 years now. So in this time, you're the only one that has come up to me. So with that said, what is there anything like in our earlier guest? I was asking them regarding um, like I don't know, like maybe we're going into our seventh season, right? And so we've finished 6 years, so now we're going into our seventh season. And what I want to do a little different in this year as it continues to develop, I want to do some things that maybe we haven't done before. Talk about some topics that we've never talked about. Maybe talk about circumstances or events and do things a little differently. And so in with the earlier guests, what we were talking about is things. I I've been fortunate enough to be on some panels. Um, and I'm giving you an example that someone gave me an idea, and I want to bring this to morning glory, or it may be noonday glory. Now, it may not be just morning glory, but I want to bring it to. They were telling me about uh, when you hear me call Vanada's name. Vanada used to work um, under University of Miami for HIV and AIDS, and they would have these forums where we would they would have panels, and she would get me on as a guest panelist for the church side. So the topic was HIV and AIDS and the church.
Mm.
And then I would be have to respond as the church. And all the others that were on there were in the medical field or mental health field or provider, healthcare, some kind of healthcare provider. But I would be responding from the church side. And she mentioned that to me, and I said, that is something I enjoyed doing, even though it wasn't easy because they kind of left all the tough questions for me in terms of how the church should respond. But these are the things I want to do. I don't mind stepping in difficult, topics or things of like that. But I'm asking people as they come through on these interviews, is it something that you may have maybe it's something you wondered about the Bible that you think that would be good a topic to talk about, and that's what I'm asking now. So if you have any idea or anything that may come to you, let's talk about it.
I was gonna say maybe I wrote down here just I know numbers have biblical meanings. I'm pretty sure you know what those are. So maybe like the biblical meanings of the number seven kind of as a theme with the new season.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
what it represents for morning glory. And then I also wrote down marriage, just like navigating marriage in general, because it is, something to navigate.
Yeah, yeah. That is true. I'm asked a lot to do relationships, to do
Mm,
relationship. And I always tell people that I'm not saying I got it like that. What I am saying is I know how it's supposed to be. See,
mm,
that's all I'm saying. I'm not telling you I'm perfect. I'm not telling you, that I don't do no wrong or my wife doesn't do any wrong. I'm not saying none of that. What I am saying though is I know how it's supposed to be. And I'm qualified to say how it's supposed to be. Not a thing is to go do it. And I've never really committed to do it where we really get into detail. So I'm not sure who's on. I'm not sure if my wife is watching, but I'm sure she gonna pick you up on that and say, I told you need to do something on relationships, but married relationship, not just so that may be something we do. I may not do it for morning glory, but I may do it. I'm starting to like these noon days, and I'm starting to like. I do also. We're doing them also at 7 p.m. I'm
mm.
starting to like these kind of off schedule things, and maybe we'll do a series just on marriage and talk about marriage, but do it not at Morning Glory, but do it. So we got Morning Glory. This is Noonday Glory, and I forgot what my grandson told me. I need to call the one at night, but something with evening in it, evening glory or something like that, he was saying, because he's saying it's not morning and you doing this. I'm like, okay, maybe we'll do that. But I will, I'm sure my team will write that down and they'll be saying maybe we should do that. So I appreciate that. Anything for you, sir? Are you in your warehouse now?
Yeah, I arrived. Yeah, I got here.
Yeah, you're in your warehouse.
So
For those that are on and for those that may watch this later, Mr. Philip Garner has Garner's Garden,
yeah,
and in that he's inside his warehouse. And I got to bring your product out more to kind of highlight your product when I'm talking. But he's inside his warehouse, and that's good, man. I like that. I'm
thank
glad
you.
you took us there to be able to show us. I love an entrepreneurial spirit, that you both have. And in that, it is great to see that. But not to throw you off, is there anything you might can think of?
Yeah, definitely marriage is at my top of the list, but then also a breakout session for men. Because men talking to men is a lot different from when, you know,
Yeah.
maybe once a month you have that 7 p.m. session. I'm not sure, but it'll be good to have that wisdom coming from you, somebody who I look
Yeah.
up to.
Yeah. Yeah. You mean like a man cave type thing?
Yeah, there you
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
go.
Now let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. You want it live? You want it live where we're live like we are now, or you want it where we pre-record it and then put it out, but we get a chance to edit it and all of that. What do you want a
Mm.
live show?
Oh, we're talking about shows. Okay. For Yeah, okay. So,
Not a full show. I'm talking about, say we do a month of a man cave talking with men, and then men come on. Say we're at 7, and we do it once a week, and men come on, and we handle difficult topics. The reason why I'm asking, because if it is live, while you were talking, I'm looking to see who's on, and I'm reading these comments, so that means once you go live, you're gonna have plenty of women watching, even though we're talking just men. It would be just men. So my question is something to think about, but I would love to do something with men. It's one of my favorite topics, and uh, a man cave where we deal with issues. I just don't need men that will freeze up the talk when, if they know somebody's watching, or
yeah.
if they know, and then, man, I can't really say what I need to say. But
So it may have to be a closed session, but for for the broader audience, I guess for us, we're in the season of parenthood, we're in the season of entrepreneurship, and we're in the season of parenthood and marriage. So those are the three topics that I think Angel and I for show ideas and stuff like that.
sure, sure,
Yeah.
sure.
Man
And
cave
you
would have to
got
be behind closed doors.
yeah, yeah. Okay, you get why I'm asking you that
Yeah.
question, because uh, men are different from women. Women are more emotional feelers,
Mhm.
where men are logical thinkers. And what happens is when you put the two, one expresses themselves, and they will express themselves, and they're just gonna say it. A man, he before he even let it go, he's thinking, man, and he'll just sit there and won't say nothing. And I want the men to be free to express themselves if they're on a camera, which they'll be on a camera, but if they know it's live, they'll be kind of afraid because they know people looking at them and so and so. So,
Yeah, that's a good
so
point.
I think we'll put together something, and definitely get in touch with a few brothers, maybe a half dozen brothers, to talk about all these issues, but also talk about issues that they maybe difficult conversations, particularly in a marriage relationship, or even in relationships, period. But I want them to feel free to be able to talk and be able to express themselves without being so reserved, and kind of like don't want to say nothing. So yeah, but I like that. I like that. I'm sure Eve is with us. She kind of in the background. She'll probably be writing all this down. Let me see what they're saying. We got a few people on, and they're saying, "Can a lawyer be a Christian?" That's something. I'm sure you say, of course, a lawyer can be a Christian, but lawyers get such a bad rap. Man cave, okay, okay. I have a brand which I've yet to push out there called Lifestyle Portfolio. And they're suggesting me to take that lifestyle portfolio and use it for things like a man cave. So maybe I'll do that. So you're bringing up some stuff that they're going to be challenging me to get better. Okay. Let's see here. Uh,
I think that question, can a lawyer be a Christian? I think that's a good question. And also, just for entrepreneurship too, is that Angel and I, she has the law firm and I have this. We both put we both put God, the Lord, at the center of both of our businesses. And what
right.
we do inside of it, and as she communicates to her clients, and she is always through the lens, is always through the heart of the Lord prior to any other thing. So a Christian lawyer versus a lawyer being a Christian, I think. Um, yes, the answer is yes, definitely.
All right. All right. All right. Well,
And
that
I just thought about you, Pastor, when you constantly tell us every morning that God should be at the center, not, anywhere else. Because
right. That's
if he's
right.
not,
That's
it's
right.
not, any roots to plant there. So yeah.
No, I look. I'm glad you're saying that. In this, in the setting we're in now, that you guys do that. You have your own businesses, but you put God at that center. And uh, what I say on Morning Glory, if you put him at the center, he connects with everything.
Mm.
When you put him as a part, then he only connects with the part that part touches. But when you put him at a center, he connects with every single thing. And that's why you want to keep him at the center of your business, keep him at the center of your marriage, keep him at the center of really your finances, keep him at the center of everything, your children, all of that, and you're guaranteed to be success. The underline there, God's success is different from the world's success. So I don't mean success with toys and success with money to just blow. That's not how God looks at success. And you will have God prosperity. So you guys keep doing what you're doing. In that, anything I can do for you, I'm right there. You guys are on good ground. You still go to Pastor Jenkins' church, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you have solid teaching there. I'm a fan from a distance of Pastor Jenkins. I listen to his messages. I pull material from some of his messages. So you're in good there, and just keep going, and keep growing. I'll allow you our last few minutes to ask me anything you want to ask me, anything you want. This is how I lay it down now. You can ask me anything you want, and I won't get mad. But I need you to not get mad at my answer. That's all I ask. Because people can ask me stuff, and they're like, I say, all right, you want to ask me that now, but don't get mad at my answer when I answer you. But that doesn't really pertain to you guys. Go ahead, ask me whatever you want.
I think the question I wrote down, Pastor, you've been a spiritual covering, kind of what I said at my intro, in my life for so many seasons, including honoring my grandmother, eulogizing her. That was very
Yeah,
special for me.
yeah, yeah.
How do you see generational impact through a ministry like Morning Glory?
Generational impact. Boy, that's, you can tell it's a lawyer I'm talking to. Generational impact. Well, look, I think that we in where we are right now, and let me look at the camera so I can say this clear. In where we are right now, we're not having the, and I'm talking overall now. I'm not just talking Morning Glory. I'm talking all of us, we're not having the impact that I believe we should and I believe we could. I think now because, and especially for people, since you guys know about South Florida, for people like in a place like South Florida, and it's due to all of the other options, and options become distractions, and you have all these other options. Back in my generation, when I was coming up as a child, we didn't have all these options, so that limited our distractions. So the impact from a kingdom perspective, from a God perspective, you got it every day because you didn't have the options. Now we as a culture, we have so many options to go, particularly in places that like where you know about, but where we live in South Florida, there's just so many options. There's just so many other things you can go do. That being said, Morning Glory was birthed out of getting in the fight. Okay, and what do I mean by that? Well, if you don't do anything, when the pandemic came, you had an option. They were telling you don't you can't gather in more than 10 people. You couldn't gather. At least that was Broward County had an ordinance. You couldn't gather with more than 10, 20 people in a place. So that means churches, how you gonna do church with? So we birthed Morning Glory out of that to say we're going to get in the fight. How are we going to do it? We're going to use the technology that is available to us. And in that reach now, be able to say, okay, God, if they're telling us we can't gather at a building, then we'll try to reach people, but reach them through the airwaves. That's how Morning Glory was birthed. 6 years later, 7 years, going into the seventh season, I'm saying now, how can we reach these generations that are lost, but they're a product of loss? So I'm not just looking at those that are, say, behind me. I'm looking at we're the cause of it because we didn't do our job with enough fight to make sure, like my parents made sure for us, we didn't do that same job for the generations behind me. So where I am right now is to look, that's why I'm talking to you guys, to say, how can we impact? How can we take something that may touch a Mr. Philip Garner to now, it may not be me carrying it, it may be you carrying it. But now I'm able now to do what I was called to do, to instill something in you to go reach generations that in your case have yet to be born. But we want to make sure we're raising up the family. And that's what I'm trying to do now. And that's what I believe Morning Glory can have the greatest impact in, is taking young people like yourselves and then giving out everything God has put in me to give it out, and then whatever part of it is for you to run with it, because I come from an analog age. All right, right now everything is digital. I need my sons to come in here to help me even navigate, how to do this equipment, because I don't know. But instead of, I don't get frustrated with it. I don't get mad with it. What I do, I learn how to work together. And I think whether it's Morning Glory or any others that have the same care and concern, that's how we have to do it. And I'll give you this last thing on this. You remember when Jesus fed the 5,000? Okay, y'all know that story, feeding of the 5,000. Well, in that story, I want to pull something out for this 21st century. Jesus instructs the disciples to, just paraphrasing it, feed the people. You feed the people. They looking at all these people. How in the world we gonna feed all these people? There's no way we can feed. But he tells them, you get them something to eat. There's nothing there but a little boy with 2 fish and 5 barley loaves. They have to now, any other time, they wouldn't even stoop that low because women and children didn't count. They were not even counted. They were beneath, they just weren't counted. But because they didn't have the product, they had to go to the little boy. And what that shows me is myself, along with people like me, got to learn how to work with the generations behind. That they have what we need and we have what they need. And we have to learn how to come together so that now we can feed not only 5,000, but the women and the children. And you know as well as I know, there's always more women and children at church than there are men. So people can put all kind of numbers on. Instead of 5,000, it probably was 20,000 they had to feed. But you can feed. Nobody will be hungry if we learn how to work together. And that's where I am. I don't have all the answers. What I do have is making myself available. And that's kind of in my long-winded answer to you, that's kind of how I see it. Because I don't believe anybody has just one answer, because I don't believe one answer will solve this. It will take all of us working together, and God has given us He's given us the means by way we could do it, but it won't get done unless we get now cooperation with those that are now saying they're believers that follow after Christ. So that's my answer to that. But that, man, that's a great question. I don't know. I'm praying every day, but it starts like with today, just talking. Everything starts with a conversation. So we have conversation, and the conversation is effective, and then you start putting things behind it. And I think that's what we'll do. That's what we'll do. I don't know. I see people texting me, and they're saying that's a great question uh, to you guys. So anything else? Anything else?
Seventh season. This is my only question. It's very simple. Seventh season you're going into. I'm just. How do you feel? That's it. How do you feel?
Ah, uh, physically, that also means I'm 7 years older. That that's the physical side of it. Even though I try not to think about age, because society will say when you reach a certain age you're supposed to retire, or even though the Bible doesn't say that. But how do I feel? I feel excited. I feel excited. Here's how I am, man. I believe that every day I wake up, I believe that God has something for me. All right, for me. Now, He's already, the air you breathe, but He's already been good. He gives me more air than I have lungs. He gives me more clothes than I have closet. So He gives me more cars than I have garage. So God has already been good. That's there. That's there. I got that part. But I'm thinking, because He is big, and because it's a big God, that means you have to have big ideas. In other words, you don't go to Him, who's this awesome big God, with these little ideas that you could do yourself. That all it takes, you go do that. But you go to Him with ideas that's so much bigger than yourself, but it's still under His feet. Even though it's bigger than you, it's still under Him. And in that gets you excited, because you don't know when that day nor hour is when he this is the day. This is the day. And it blows your mind. So I like to have my mind blow. And I've been blessed to where, it's not easy to blow my mind. It takes God to do that because I'm not impressed by this or that or this. That doesn't impress me. But I'm impressed and my mind is blown with God things. And what do I mean? Making you qualified for what you know you unqualified for.
Mhm.
Getting you in rooms with a seat where you know you wouldn't even be in there without him. That
Amen.
putting you at tables, getting you in financial deals, and you don't even have no money. See, these are things that are God things. That's what keeps me excited. That's what keeps me going. That what keeps my enthusiasm up because I know God is up to something. So that's my
Amen.
again, don't know if I answer you, but I
No, you
give it
did.
to you raw as I can, because you cannot measure God. You can have a budget, you can have a business plan, you can have all of these things, but when it comes to God, He works outside all that because He's unlimited. We're limited. He's unlimited. So, y'all got me preaching to y'all, and I'm sure Eve gonna be upset because I'm preaching to y'all. But with that, that's why I like to do these raw. I don't know what I'm gonna say because I don't know what you're going to ask me. But I just don't mind doing it. But again, I thank you guys so much. And so Angel, I guess you'll send us some pictures
Yeah.
after the baby girl is born. You guys are blessed and just continue to keep going, man. Keep God at that center and first, and things will keep blossoming for you. And then before you know it, man, you'll be like, how did I get here? I don't have to wonder because I know how we got over. Love y'all. I'll see
Love you
you. I'll
too.
see you in the
Thank you.
Yes,
morning then.
love you.
I'll
Yeah,
see
see you
you
in the
in the
morning.
morning.
All
Y'all
right.
have a
Thank you,
beautiful day.
Pastor.
Thank you,
God
Pastor.
bless you. All
God
right.
bless.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye bye.